Hello everyone. Very good morning to everyone. Whoever is in the session, sorry, I'm sharing my screen, so I will not be able to move the names or the persons who are there in this current session. Quickly about myself. So I'm Lalita. I'm a BTech graduate from JNTU, and I have a total of 17 plus years of experience specifically to testing. And I have started my career in App Labs Technologies, which is there in Hyderabad. And currently, I'm as a QA manager working for the top. I don't want to disclose my company's organization details at this point of time, so I'll say that it's an MNC IT organization in Bangalore. So coming to my experience, I have worked with different kind of domains, which includes banking, finance, telecom, travel and hospitality, media management, and healthcare as well. So if I can take few of the reputed projects which I worked as Avis Budget Group, which is a travel US and
ఏంటి
I'm sorry. Okay, which is a US and UK based travel systems. And again, with respect to healthcare, Anthem, Cigna, which is the top rated healthcare providers, insurance providers in US. So I worked with them as a major clients. And with respect to transportation and hospitality, United Airlines is also one of the biggest project which I worked with them with respect to the testing. And coming to my technical expertise, yes, I do have an expertise with manual testing, API using Postman, REST API, SOAP, and even automated testing. It was an older one, but I can say that UFT is one of the automation tool which I've used for. And right now, the latest trend is going with Playwright, so I'm working with that. And I do have an expertise with respect to doing some audits with respect to TMMI using the uh, process audits using TMMI as well. So that's a quick introduction about myself. So we are past like 10 minutes now. So I'll quickly start the session. So I'll just have a quick only very few slides. I know Saturday early morning, weekend morning, it's difficult for you guys to get into the system, but please stop me anywhere if you have any kind of questions or any kind of details that you wanted, or you can park your questions at the end of the Q&A session as well. So here I would like to give a quick introduction about the software testing, uh, what we are and what are the points that we'll be discussing. So this is the most I don't want to go like a generic kind of the way that we go with the software testing. Okay, so we'll talk more about the live examples, what we are running in the current system, current industry. Then we will go into the kind of exercises, kind of, and small exercises which will help you to understand as well as to get into the system as well. So I'll be covering the concepts of what is a software fault, some of the software faults, including an example, and again, the definition of the standard definition of what is a software testing, including the main concepts called as verification and validation, some principles, which is the 7 core principles of software testing, and what to test and the testing activities. Uh, Before that, is there any questions, guys? Should I continue? Nice. Okay. Okay. Fine. So let's start with understanding of software faults. So, these days or recent days, why testing is becoming a core. Hope you have heard, or these days listening more about test generative AI, predictive AI, and all these things. But initially, to the core, why did we start this? What is the main issue of why are we testing altogether? So faults in the software may loss incurred by companies. So let's say simple, when you are using any kind of appliances in your home. You use a refrigerator, you use a washing machine or whatnot. So let's say you brought it at home. After the second day, you got a repair. You call to the customer care and they say that, hey, this cannot be done. Okay, let me go for a replacement. So he replaced it. The second day, you get a new machine and again it will get replaced. So when you're getting such issues over there, what will you observe that, okay, let's say Samsung refrigerator is not working at this point of time. So next time I'm not going to buy any kind of Samsung product. So that gives you a hint in your mind saying that, okay, this particular company product or this particular product does not has any kind of value add when it provides to the user experience. So that is the where testing is very much important at this point of time. So whenever it's a word spreading at this point of time. Let's say if I'm using a kind of appliances, and if I say that, hey, please don't go for this appliance because of so issues with certain kind of applications and all. So it's a mouth to mouth, it's a word to word mouth discussions will happen, and obviously the company sales will get reduced. So all these marketing, all these discussions will all happen because of the user experience. So that is before that user experience testing has to come in picture, where that is the most important stage of our testing perspective. Even it may be manual, automated, performance, security, uh, you know, uh, a code-based testing or whatnot. So why are we, what are the faults that we use? So application result in any failure can be very expensive in the future. And again, loss of life also, because if it is a great product, if it is something related to a machinery which is used in hospitals, and a small error can affect a life of a person as well. So a human error can lead to a fault, can lead to a failure. So before that, at the fault stage itself, we have to, or the testers has to come into the picture and solve it so that it will not lead to a failure. So that's what I'm trying to bring out the concept over here. So what are the sources of different faults? So improper requirement engineering, flaws in the design, inadequate testing, evolution of the software. Okay, most of us are good in LinkedIn, or good at sending memes, good at sending using YouTube shorts or whatnot. People have seen so many shots saying that, you know, client has given an apple and we designed something like in a round shape, which is red in color, but it's still not an apple. It might be a plum also, which is ripened. So there might be different requirements also, which is not clear at this point of time. There might be flaws in the design. There might be not inadequate testing, because there are certain times we say, hey, in the 2 weeks, I have to go for a release. So please quickly get tested to me. So as a tester, you have to be very sure or very accurate saying that, hey guys, I understand your urgency, but understanding the requirement and understanding the release specifications, as a tester, I wanted to take some time to do my full testing or full regression or end-to-end testing to make sure that I don't say that 100% the product will be fault. Never ever in this industry till now, no product is 100% a bug-free product. So at least I will say that, sorry, yep. So I'll continue. So 90% at least from your end, whatever the module or whatever the build that you're giving, to make sure that it's working as expected, as set to the requirements. So that is how, you know, you have to make sure that it's delivered. So the source of faults are most of these ones. So again, evolution of software, when you're saying addition of new features, every day we see, okay, let's say today you, uh, I'm pretty sure you guys are using some kind of social medias, or Amazon is one of the best retail customer that you're using. Okay, today you see a product, tomorrow you see adding a new product. So every day a new feature, every day a new product along with the product description, everything is added. So because of that, the existing ones should not be affected. So all these kind of faults needs to be taken care. Okay. So here is the standard or the basic definition of what a software testing is the process used to identify the correctness, completeness, and quality of the developed computer software. And it includes a set of activities conducted with the intent of finding errors. If you ask me today, if you are a tester, what is your satisfaction at the end of the day means finding the bug. Because at the end of the day, whatever I'm doing, I might be involved in agile meetings, I might be involved in project discussions, I might be involved in different kinds of activities within the company. But as a tester, if you're taking testing as your passion, at the end of the day, if you find a bug, and if it is a potential bug, and if it is discussed by the developers or the stakeholders or the business analyst, and it gets approved, trust me, your day is done. And you have made your day happy, saying that, yes, I found a very good bug. So that is the kind of happiness or the satisfaction or the end goal of you as being a tester. So, I have a set of regression suite or a set of test cases. Okay, I run that and I say that, hey, I have done this. This is my job. Okay, out of 20 test cases, I've executed 15. 5 will be carry forwarded today. No, that's kind of a regular job that you're doing as part of the testing, but it is not your you know uh, actual validation or a actual job of what you're fulfilling as a being a tester. So finding a bug is the core at this point of time. So it can also be stated as the process of validation and verification that a software program or application or a product. Okay, let's say we use that word verification, validation so many times in our life. So let's say, what is the difference between verification and validation? Okay, as a tester, now you have given a bug, or you find a bug, or you get a feature. Let's say you load www.amazon.com, load the page, and the page is being loaded. Okay, so that is your set of test steps at this point of time. So now, based on the requirement, based on the test steps, what are you doing is you're verifying that the process, I means you open a browser, you enter the URL, you hit the enter button, or you hit the uh, go button using a mouse, and you enter into it. The page loads with the exact GUI, the data, and all together. So that is the verification that you're doing, and you're following the right track of process to get that particular page. So that is the process of verification. So that's what the definition says. Is a process of evaluating the intermediary work products of the software development lifecycle to check if we are in the right track of creating the final product. And when you ask me, why are we saying creating a final product and software development lifecycle? So we will go into the further sessions, but when we do have a different models of SDLC, like agile, I mean, latest is the agile model. So before it would be waterfall, a V model, iterative based model, and all this kind of details. No, thanks, Pavan. I'm not showing any browser. I'm just giving an examples.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So as part of this, your testing process comes in the last but one phase, where the testing and verification validation comes at the point of time. So what are we trying to do here is, from gathering the requirements, being a part of developing a product at the start from the stage, we are making sure that each and every requirement is being discussed, verified, and approved by the BAs, and discussed with the developers as well, and they approve the system, how it works, and how the new feature has been developed. And whatever the approved process, we are verifying to make sure that it's in the right process of developing that final product. So that entire process is called as a verification. Now come to the validation. So who will be doing the validation? Any idea if somebody can give me the, you have the definition over there, but usually who will be doing your validations? Guys, can we have this an interactive session rather than one person talking? It's a very quiet place altogether. Okay, I'll continue with this. So validation will be mostly done by the BAs, the POs, the business analysts, the product owners, and even sometimes the QA also will be coming into the picture. Let's say you have a set of team and the team said, hey, I have done my complete functional testing, regression or whatnot, integration, system testing and whatnot, all kinds of testing. Can you please check the final, outcome of it or validate that particular feature is working or not? So the person who has the knowledge of that particular module or of that particular feature or particular product can go and check, see that the feature is being developed in the way how it's been discussed and it is working actual based upon the actual result and all. So then we are good to go. So usually the validation process will be done by the persons, I mean, the BAs, POs, who is the stakeholders to understand the business or the business requirement of that particular module, product, or a feature. So that is the difference between the verification and validation. So this is the common industry specific. This material, whatever I'm showing you at this point of time, this slide is part of the ISTQB as well. So it is the testing board related questions as well. This is one of, for sure, out of these 5 points, 1 point will definitely come into the ISTQB. So verification evaluates the intermediary products to check whether it meets the specific requirements of a particular phase. And validation evaluates a final product to check whether it meets the business needs. Okay, so are we building the product right? So verification will be done by the developers and the testers at this point of time. Validation, are we building the right product? So it will be done by the product owners, the business analyst who knows the business requirements of that particular product. This and the verification, it was done without executing the software, is done with executing the software, the validation. So why are we saying verification is done without executing the software? Because at this phase, the development also comes into the picture. So what they do is they do their unit testing or kind of code checks only at this point of time, but at the kind of validation only we'll be doing the software executions as a whole, as an integrated product, not as an individual feature. Okay. Involves all the static testing techniques, includes all the dynamic testing techniques, and sample includes the reviews, inspections, and walkthrough. So all these inspections will be taken care by uh, the BAs, the developers, again, the testers, including they understand and they reiterate kind of like a reverse KT to give what they understand to make sure that are they building the product right or not. And the validation, this includes like smoke, functional regression, UAT, whatnot. This is pure validation. At this point of time, purely testers will be included. Verification, both testers and developers will be included. Again, core. This is again one of the best and the greatest kind of principles of software testing. Trust me, I don't know how many of you remember of your career and all, but I do see few of the members who have experienced being there in this meeting altogether. But I'll tell you, till date, I use these principles of software, especially pesticide paradox as the one of the uh, testing software principle which I use till date. So first, testing is a context dependent. Exhaustive testing is not possible. Early testing is always preferred. Defect clustering, pesticide paradox. Testing shows presence of defects. Absence of errors is a fallacy. Okay. So when we are talking about testing is concept dependent, not every time again, but yes, if the company or if the client or if your testing needs depends upon the certain kind of documentation, certain kind of, okay, let's say I'm testing Amazon.com. That is the website that you're using at this point of time, and you want your design to be similar to a Flipkart.com. So both are retail, both are industry top standards, but Amazon has its own kind of look and feel, UI, and it has a different wireframes altogether. But if you say Flipkart, it's have a different kinds of altogether. So it totally depends upon the requirement, how it is going through. So testing is again a context dependent. Exhaustive testing is not at all possible. You sit, you put your extra hours, you'd sit, you cannot test each and every module, each and every line, each and everything in a particular application that you're testing. So then there will be a certain barrier which you can test till certain amount of space itself. Exhaustive testing is not at all possible. Early testing is always preferred. Yes, that's where now previously we used to have waterfall model where the entire product is being developed. After development, after everything, then the testing comes into the picture. So whenever we find bugs, it goes back again into the development state where the fixing of the bug is very costlier. So the ROI, the return of investment of that fixing of a bug, is very costlier to the clients. So that is where agile iterative system is the new at this point of time. So that's why we are testing every module, every feature, every requirement then and there itself to make sure that it is correctly integrating with the existing system. So that is where early testing is always preferred. Defects clustering. So today you go to any kind of system or the bug tracking tools, you will say that, hey, uh, when you get some P1, priority one bugs, priority two bugs, priority three bugs, and you divide them based on the priority. On what basis you divide them? Okay, it is a functional bug. Is it a UI bug? Is it something which is affecting the entire application? It's a blocking of the application. So you are dividing your bugs into the kind of categories. Okay, let's say if it is a spelling mistake, it's a cosmetic bug. Let's say I'm clustering into a P3. If I'm saying, okay, uh, navigation itself, okay, I go into Amazon.com and I click on any link, and if it does not navigate, the entire user experience is also disturbed. So that is where navigation is one of my top priority. So like that, you will categorize your uh, work or your particular testing into different clusters. Next is your pesticide paradox. This is the way I love it. So pesticide paradox is something, okay, let me explain in a layman. So you are a farmer. Let's say example, you are a farmer. You have a land, you have a 1 acre of land. You go there, okay, you start, growing some kind of rice or corn or whatnot. Okay, there might be some area of that field which is always a buggy. That means some kind of small bugs will come affect that particular you know area of land every time. So that means you will understand that either the soil might be not good, or there might be some, you know, uh, environmental areas, or it is near to some kind of muddy place, which is not supporting that environment to grow that kind of a, plant at that point of time. So that means you understand that either you have to lose that place, or you have to give a particular very good remedy so that your that place is again being grown with a good you know kind of a plant or kind of a good crop at this point of time. So that is where your pesticide paradox. So that means I know where the bugs are coming from. So this is the area which every time there will be a bug. So let me concentrate more on that area or on that feature or on that particular module so that it reduces the integration bugs, or it reduces the bugs, especially to that point, and in the regression also your application is a stable at that point of time. Testing shows presence of defects. This is self-explanatory, I don't need to explain it. So again, every in our day-to-day life also we do testing kind of. Okay, let's say, very generic, let's say I cook today, and I get I do, before feeding it to my family, I'll make sure that I'll taste it. Okay, the salt is good. The, uh, the mirchi is good. The, whatever the masala I put it in is good. Because at the end of the day, I want my family satisfaction to have a healthy food and to have a tastier food. So if I'm not doing the testing, and if I put more salt or less salt or whatnot, end of the day, it ruins the taste palette of the family which is eating, and they will get averse of, again, not eating that kind of food back again. So in every day-to-day life, we will be using that kind of testing. So testing shows the presence of defects. Either we fix it, or we'll try to see the workaround how to fix that. Okay, let's say I have put more salt. Okay, what should I do? I'll put some potato in that, which grabs more of salt, and I'll try to avoid it. So that's kind of, remedies which I'll come up with. The same goes with the testings as well. And absence of errors is a fallacy. So again, we cannot say that an application is 100% bug free. Never, it was till date. So we cannot say that, hey, I have tested and I'm pretty sure that 100% I have regressed this 100 times, or let's say I've regressed this for 5 times, and I'm pretty sure that there is no bug. And I give you that assurance, and you go to the production, for sure you'll get one bug. So never ever we can say that an error-free product is there. It might be a different reason, not your fault. Again, it's never your fault. There might be integration issues, there might be browser issues, there might be, uh, you know, network connectivity issues, whatnot, but still it affects the product. So, but we cannot say that without errors, it cannot be done. So when I said that in the fourth point of principles of software testing, defects clustering. So how do you cluster your defects, or how do you cluster what kind of defects that you're doing at this, what, or how are you categorizing your testing point at this point of time? So visual design and branding. Uh, so let's say today I have Pawan, who has a good logo being designed, which is in orange color at this point of time. So I see that, okay, Pawan's logo is there with a symbol or with a design with, orange color. So tomorrow somebody, and he designed his website in such a way. Tomorrow somebody make a copy of it, and it turns to be from orange to a reddish kind of, but it's not still the same color. So visual design and branding is always important, because people make a copy of it every time. Again, Bawarchi, Hyderabad's favorite. So there is only one Bawarchi in Hyderabad, not green Bawarchi is same as Bawarchi again. Okay. So interaction design. So how are you interacting with your design? Is your GUI being, the moment your flyers change based upon the requirement? Is it move? I mean, is it interacting with your, the moment you click the right page, the right set of pages are being opening or not? The copy. Um, how is your copy paste working? Is your data being restricted, or everybody can copy whatever the data and paste it in some other locations or not? Navigational approaches, use of imagery, that means the use of images, kind of an icons and all. So page layout and information hierarchy. So what to test is, this is the kind of testing that we'll be doing. So now, what are the kind of, okay, I think like half an hour is there. So I'll pause here for a moment before I jump into the next slides. Anybody have any kind of questions or suggestions or kind of discussions you want to put in? Or do you want to add your thoughts?
Nothing from my side, Lalita.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah, I think you can go ahead.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Okay, so set of testing activities. This is something that it is not an SDLC lifecycle, not an STLC lifecycle. This is a kind of a day-to-day activities that we will do as part of our, as being a part of a testing tester. Okay, let's say test first is your test strategy. what is you're doing? You're doing your test schedule, your resource planning, and what are the testing types based upon the application that you're doing. So usually test strategy or this development, execution, management, delivery, whatever the phases you're doing, this will be still part of your STLC lifecycle, which is a software testing lifecycle. But the one which you're seeing right now is not exactly any kind of lifecycle that you're seeing at this point of time. Okay. So test strategy that you, again, it's part of your test planning itself. So let's say I have given you a module, you have to give me an estimation that when it can be completed. A little more. Okay. Sure. Okay. So test schedule, resource planning, testing types. This is the what we will be doing at the test strategy, and test development at the time of test plan, test data, test cases is what we'll be doing at the time of test development, including your test scenarios as well, and test execution, test reports, metrics, defects, and defect management goes to bug tracking, fixing, verification, triaging. All these parts will come into the defect management, and your delivery, your user active acceptance, your regression testing, your installation testing, your integration testing, your requirements verification using an RTM. All these are the testing activities that you will be doing at this point of time. So this would be, an introduction kind of what are we going to take it in the next sessions at this point of time. So whenever we are asking, okay, if somebody asked me, uh, how do you see, okay, as a fresher now, tell me, how would I improve or how would I bring software testing at this point of time? Okay. See, everybody says that, okay, if you are, because I'm been in the industry for quite an amount of time, for 17 years, trust me, today, if I go or if I hire any new person, especially let's go as a tester, I say that I have a requirement for a test automation person. Okay, people are listening, saying that, hey, test automation, okay, I need to at least have some knowledge on that. Okay, let me do some courses in Selenium or whatnot and all. But practically, when the person sits in the job role and sits, the first thing he will ask you to write the test cases or refactor the existing test cases or understand the requirements. So at least the person has to understand the basic testing concepts, the basic manual cost concepts, to understand that particular job or that particular product or requirement, and refactor the test cases, which will be helpful to related to automation, and it will bring a value add to that kind of a job that you are serving at this point of time. I don't say that, manual testing is gone these days. Okay, let's say everybody are listening, or AI is something that you're listening every day on a high thing. Okay. Okay, let me take an example of test generative AI. What is a test generative AI? What it does is, it will take your website. There is a piece of code which it will run. There is a website. It will try to load first the website, and it will understand, okay, this is a retail client, and based on that, it will take a screenshot of the first page, and it will start generating the test scenarios, not the test cases, guys. Please make this note. It will never generate a test case for you. It will not write a test steps. It will not write, your actual result, expected result, anything. But it will generate the positive and negative test scenarios. So you have to understand what is the difference between a test case and a test scenario. A test scenario might have more than 10 test cases as well. That I will explain in further sessions when we go through. So understanding the manual concepts, understanding the usage of where are we doing, because especially I said I have very good, experience in seeing one of the software testing principles, which is pesticide paradox or defect clustering or whatnot. This area, even if you are doing an automation testing also, you know which is the buggy area, you know where is the issues comes from, you know where it hits you. So it's always important for you to understand the product, and from a manual tester perspective or a manual testing concepts perspective, so that it will help you in all your phases of your career, starting from manual to automation or microservices tester or kind of performance security, whatnot. So that is always important at this point of time. So that I will give you a quick, suggestion going. I mean, if you are taking your career seriously in terms of testing, never ever lose your concepts of testing, or never ever lose your concept, because if you are strong at your testing concepts, you'll be strong in any kind of module or a kind of service that you are taking to your career to improve at any level at this point of time. Okay. And if you ask me, more can, career opportunities in software testing, yes, career opportunities in software testing right now, everybody is asking for an automation engineer. But trust me, I'll tell you, I have a product, I have a, project which I have almost 40 people working under me. And yesterday there was a requirement for a automation tester. Okay, it was a playwright, uh, a tool that they have to use. So I have hired, it was a very less experience, for 4 to 5 years experience. At least I don't need the person to understand playwright, but understand testing concepts. Okay, I hired the person is onboarded and sitting. And today because the client asked, I want him to understand the testing concepts. I want him to understand the manual testing. What I want him to do is go through the test cases, understand the testing. If there is a gap, ask him to refactor the test cases for at least 2 to 3 months. Then we will see if the person is capable. Then we will move on to the automation phase. Now, what should I tell to the guy? You hired me as an automation engineer and you're making me to do a manual testing. So the question comes to say that it's forget about manual testing, automation testing, performance or security or DevOps or whatnot. Your testing concepts, your testing software testing, concepts should be strong. Then only you can take any kind of testing job that you're going in your career. So let's say I have a test case, ABC test case. It is not properly authored. It's not proper. I cannot use it might be too detailed. It will not help to my automation ones. So you have to make your test case or that your test case automation ready test cases to make sure that it works with the system or it works with the tool that you're using altogether. So that is important. So uh, take this as a one kind of suggestion. If you wanted to move, or if you wanted to take, do not take that, okay, do not put yourself low if somebody asking you to do some manual testing. It is all to analyze you, how logically you can think, how effectively you can fasten, how effectively are you verifying your requirements, or your, how are you fixing the existing testing, so that you are taking the existing process into a next level of process for them. Because if you're doing the same kind of job which their existing team also does, then no point in hiring you. So you have to show your presence, or if you have to show your qualities over there. If that is the case, then you have to see where I can improve in the existing system. So identify those areas and start working in that to put your career or to put yourself into the next level. Trust me, in this industry, everybody is a player, so uh, from the career perspective, please take care and make sure that you are learning your concepts perfectly, so that tomorrow, if any kind of situation comes into your picture, your concepts only will help you. Uh, your day-to-day experience, your day-to-day testing concepts, your understanding about the software testing, that helps you to take any kind of role that will be in front of you. So that's where I will end this session. Uh, so next session will be taking care with the next in detail of software development lifecycle. I will explain each and every concept of what we used to use previously. I understand I'm an old champ, so 17 years back I used waterfall model, even V model as well. So it's always good to know what we have in our past. So how did we improve from past to the present? So I can bring all those concepts in the next sessions. Um, that's it, guys. Anything else you wanted to discuss?